What's up, Silver and Black Nation? Welcome to the Silver and Black Lair. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. Trying something a little bit different, doing it on a Saturday. I was a little bit busy yesterday. My normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. On Friday, I was a little bit busy. Had the truck in the shop for inspection and stuff like that. So, let's try Saturday after the Kings game and see what happens. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I waited. After watching the Kings game, gives you a little bit of hype. It was a great finish. But we'll start off with the Raiders. We'll kick the show off. Actually, Super Bowl talk. So my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Good game. And nothing great. Nothing. I wouldn't call it an all-time great game. It went to overtime, almost double overtime, which I was pulling for. Everyone wants to see the double overtime. But overall, not a bad game. A decent game. The commercials were shit, though. I thought the commercials were terrible. That's one of the things I look forward to every year. The couple commercials are usually pretty funny. I can't remember any of the commercials. There's one or two memorable commercials. Zero. Zip, zilch, can't remember any of them. It's just nothing memorable from the commercials. The Dunk Kings one I thought was somewhat funny. So if there's any of them that I would say was a decent commercial, I would say that. Deadpool 3, that was pretty cool. That was exciting to see. But the only knock I have on that is all the movies that had commercials during the Super Bowl was like a 5, I don't say like a 10-second clip and telling you to go online to watch their trailer. I'm like, and I kind of, it's a bit of a bummer. So, but of course, for that one, I went online and checked the trailer out, and it was worth it. It was a kick-ass trailer. Can't wait to see that movie. It's gonna be a terrific movie. Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, fantastic. So I'm sure Deadpool 3, going into the the Marvel Comics universe there, the MCU is going to be pretty cool, pretty sweet. All different characters that they're gonna intertwine Deadpool with and stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool. Eileen checking in. What's up, Eileen? Hello. Everybody's working for the weekend. There we go. The Super Bowl, of course, Patrick Mahomes was fantastic. That douchebag Travis Kelce, and this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. If you watch these shows, I've always called Travis Kelce the douchebag because he just kills us. He kills the Raiders. He's very douchey about it, so I can't stand him. I hate him. Everybody loves Jason Kelce. I like Jason Kelce. Travis Kelce, I'd like to see a golf club wrapped around his head. So, and it has nothing to do with Taylor. Just he kills the Raiders. Absolutely kills a lot of teams, but it feels like the Raiders are especially fun for him to kill. So he was fantastic. Defensively, the Chiefs were solid. Nothing spectacular. They held the 49ers for the most part in check. McCaffrey. He had 80-plus yards rushing on 22 carries. I think he had 80 yards receiving as well. So McCaffrey had a pretty good game overall. But for the most part, he did have a couple decent runs, a couple spurts. But for the most part, you'd have to say that the Chiefs were able to hold him in check. Now, I don't know if the 49ers kind of got out. They are outsmarted themselves. Kind of got away from McCaffrey a few drives instead of just continuously feeding him. So that's how I felt. I felt like he should have even 22 carries, 8 catches. He touched the ball 30 times. I still feel like he could have touched the ball probably another 5 to 10 times. To be honest with you, there's times it's like, why are they just not feeding McCaffrey? And another thought, George Kittle. I mean, why were they not trying to get the ball to Kittle more before he got hurt? I know near the end there he had to go in the locker room. He was hurt. But why were they not getting Kittle the ball more? I don't know if the Chiefs took him away or if the 49ers just didn't look his way. I know Brandon Ayuk was pretty pissed after the game about his lack of looks. He had 3 catches. I don't remember the yardage exactly. I think it was, 50 yards or so, 60 yards. Deebo Samuel, he had a few runs, a couple catches. They targeted him, I think it was 11 times I read. He only had 3 catches. So, that guy right there, I think he had the most targets out of the bunch. the 49ers defense, I thought their defense played well. Their defense, I thought for the most part held Kansas City in check until late in the game. I don't know if they tired out. The Drake Greenlaw injury was huge. Seeing him go down, it's a bummer when you see a guy go down just running into the game. I mean, like, nobody wants to see an injury. If you're a football fan, you don't want to see injuries. You really don't. As much as I hate Travis Kelce, I don't want to see Travis Kelce get hurt. He's a phenomenal player. But if a player does get hurt, you'd rather have them get hurt actually playing the game. Seeing him get hurt just running onto the field was such a bummer. Such a terrific player, a big part of that defense. Whether or not that affected them to the point where it led to them losing the game, I don't know. But overall, not a bad game, an all right game. Halftime show I did not like. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it either. So I started watching it, and then Usher came out and did his thing. I'm not an Usher fan, so I couldn't really get into it. Usually I give most of the performers a chance, but I didn't even give him a chance. I just kind of watched like 5 seconds of it, like I can't watch this, so I had to turn it off. Comment from Rob Hefner here. Greetings from Las Vegas. The mayor of Las Vegas, Rob Hefner, says, Baffry, what do you think about the incident between Travis Kelce and Andy Reid during the Super Bowl? Thank you for asking that question there, Roberto. I had no problem with it. Obviously you don't want to see any of your players bumping, your elderly head coach. Andy Reid's a big dude, but he is, has to be in his 60s at least. And Travis Kelce coming in hot there and kind of bumped him. And I think his intent was not to bump Andy Reid. His intent was definitely to go over and yell at Andy Reid and scream at him. But I don't think his intention was to go over there and bump him. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I think if Andy Reid seen him coming, I don't think he would have bumped him. I don't think Andy Reid would have stumbled. Andy Reid just didn't see him coming. And, all these people up in arms, telling Taylor she needs to watch out for Travis Kelce. This is the start of an abuser. He has CTE and stuff like that. Like, get the hell out of here with that crap. It's a lot of the people that are saying. I'm not saying everybody, but most of the people that are saying Travis Kelce was wrong for doing what he did, or is going to be an abuser, or has anger issues, are people that never played a goddamn sport in their life. I mean, for real. It's just, it's the people just looking for clicks, putting Travis Kelce in their video, the name Travis Kelce, or stuff like that. It's stupid. I was watching some of these clowns, these trolls, talking about it. It's like, get the hell out of here with that shit. I mean, it's and then they talked about him at the Super Bowl parade being drunk. That's what they do. You watch every single parade for any sport. Any sport. And I'll tell you what, 95% of those guys are hammered. It is what it is. It's a celebration. I mean, I don't know what you want. It's you watch. I think it was last year's parade. Patrick Mahomes was lit up. He was drunk as well. What's up, brother?
Did I have
Say hi.
Hi.
All right.
Have corn dog?
In a bit, I'll get you a corn dog after I'm done the show. The guy wants a corn dog. What are you gonna do, right? So I lost my train of thought there with the corn dog talk. Now I want a corn dog. So I had no problem with Travis Kelce screaming at Andy Reid the way he did. Again, he shouldn't have bumped him, but in the heat of the moment, he's a competitor. Andy knows that. Travis knows he didn't. Travis knows he should have did what he did, especially at the Super Bowl. You got 10,000 cameras, everywhere, and especially with him, everything going on with him, being in the news as much as he has been with the whole Taylor Swift romance. It's. I think it's all for just people looking for clicks. That's what I think. I think that's why it's blown out. The news media outlets, running with it because it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend, not because it's the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs either. I think if he was not dating Taylor Swift, it would have been a non-issue. I think it's, and I'll be the first one to say I love Taylor Swift at these games. I really do. Again, I've never listened to Taylor Swift. Besides my wife, she'll listen to her vehicle. That's where I hear Taylor Swift. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I like the attention she brings to the game. That's going to bring more eyes to the game, more eyes to football, and for the people that have watched football their whole life that are complaining about it, get over it. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit too. Oh, they're showing Taylor Swift too much. You wanted to show more people kneeling during the national anthem. Is that what you want? Something to bitch about there? No, get the hell out of here with that crap. Because they show her, for 25 seconds during the Super Bowl. Who cares? Who cares? What's the big deal? Who cares what they're showing? Would you rather than pan over, show them some fat ass in the stands, with beer all over their face? No, get the hell out of here. Nonsense. Rob also says, great hockey game between the Kings and the Bruins today. Went back and forth. Hell of a game. Now Dallas and Edmonton are currently tied at 2. Great day for hockey so far. Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's some really great matchups on hockey this whole weekend, but especially today. The Kings Bruins, fantastic game. Just got done watching that. I'll talk about that in a little bit once I get to Kings talk. Oilers Dallas, a huge game there. The Kings are 1 point behind the Oilers right now in the Pacific for that guaranteed playoff spot. So Edmonton needs to keep winning, and Dallas is a hell of a team. The Dallas is really, really good. So we'll see what happens there. Philly, New Jersey tonight. That should be great. That's in the Stadium Series, so that'll be played at MetLife. I can't wait to watch. I think that's tonight. So I can't wait to watch that. That should be a lot of fun. I want to see the Stadium Series jersey. It seemed like the New Jersey Devils jersey. It seems to be pretty sweet. It looks like it's like if I remember, it's like a deep dark red, and then some nice black lettering. It looks pretty cool. Todd Howe, Todrick, what's up? He says, hello, Kenneth. Bummer they canceled the game today. Yes, they canceled my youngest daughter's basketball game today. We had, I guess, probably an inch and a half, 2 inches of snow, 2 to 3 inches of snow last night, overnight. They had to cancel the games this morning. That's on top of the 6 to 8 inches we got a couple days ago. And they'll make it up. Thanks for checking the show out, Todd. Thank you for commenting. Rob says, to answer your question from last week's show, Raiders fan here are excited. The hiring good. That's if you watched last week's episode, I was asking Vegas Rob, with the Las Vegas Nights, what the overall feeling was out there with the Antonio Pierce hiring, and I figured it was probably pretty positive. Thanks for checking the show out, Rob. Thank you for commenting. Eileen says they're always drunk and probably high at the parade. They might be high as well. I don't know, but definitely drunk. That's what they do. They usually chug beers and get beers drunk. Yeah. I mean, it's all because it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. That's all it is. She's a mega star. She's the most famous person in the entire world. Some may argue the entire universe on this side of the Milky Way. Corn dog, yes. The boy wants a corn dog. The little guy. Rob says corn dog sounds good. Get the kid a corn dog. Well, so here the whole corn dog thing. It's not your traditional corn dog. It's one of those Jimmy Dean pancake sausage corn dogs. It's a sausage link with a stick in it, but it's wrapped in a pancake. And I'll tell you what, man, they're fantastic. The blueberry ones are out of this world. I got the original ones. I hate corn dogs, the original corn dog. I ain't gonna tell you why, because I don't want to gross too many people out. And but these pancake ones are just. If you've never tried them, you have to go to your local supermarket and get them. That are out of this world. All right, so that's all I have on the Super Bowl. Okay game, not bad. Nice to see the a finish at the end like that, a walk-off finish that keeps it exciting. Don't have a problem with the Kelsey Andy Reid thing. Don't have a problem with the Super Bowl parade. One more thing, speaking of Super Bowl parade, I was unfortunate with the shootings and stuff like that. You never want to see that happen. I think there's 22, 23 people injured, 1 death. Just senseless. It's stupid. Everybody's having a good time. I don't know exactly what happened. I know there's a couple arrested, a couple juveniles charged in the shooting or arrested for the shooting. I heard, or in custody. Um, it sucks. It really does. A positive note out of it: Taylor Swift donated $100,000 to the radio DJ that passed away, Lisa Lopez Gallum, and Travis Kelce donated $100,000 to her nieces as well, who were injured in the melee. So it's a little bit of positive there out of a shitty situation. Rob says, Ken Fry, even better. No wonder we're fat asses. Yeah, the pancake and sausage on a stick is no wonder why we're fat asses, is right. Eileen says, they tried to make a story about Kelce and Mahomes going to dinner after the shooting. What, so were they supposed to not eat? I mean, Travis is drunk. You got to soak it up somehow, right? It's stupid. It's stupid. It's just trying to make something out of nothing. That's what they're trying to do. It's nonsense. That's what the media does now, and it's unfortunate. So moving on from the Super Bowl to the Raiders coaching staff, currently as it sits, it's starting to take shape here. It should be just about wrapping up, I think, with who they're hiring. So I'm going to run through it real quick. So of course you have your head coach Antonio Pierce, the assistant head coach hiring, which I think is a terrific hiring. Marvin Lewis to kind of help Antonio Pierce settle into this role, I believe. That's what he's there for. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, an interesting hire. I talked about him a few weeks ago before the whole Cliff Kingsbury debacle, and I said that's the guy I think the Raiders could sign because he's more of a run-heavy type offense, and that's what AP was looking to do. Running backs coach, a newer hire, Cadillac Williams. Remember Cadillac Williams from his days in the NFL and Auburn. He's our new running backs coach, a new offensive line coach. He was the assistant coach at San Francisco, assistant offensive line coach James Craig. So he brings fresh eyes over as the offensive line coach. Wide receiver coach Edgar Bennett, 7th season with the Raiders. Pass game coordinator Scott Turner, he's returning. Offensive quality control is Antonio Pierce's son, DeAndre Pierce, which I'm cool with. I don't see any issue with nepotism. Bringing his son in, into the coaching ranks. What better way to start him off as usually these guys start off as a quality control, either offense, defense, special teams. Gets their feet wet, gets their a little bit of experience with coaching, and leads to a career for him. So I have no problem with that. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham's returning. Defensive line Rob Leonard, he's returning. Pass rush specialist Andre Carter. Linebackers coach Mike Caldwell. Cornerbacks coach Ricky Manning Jr. Special teams Tom McMahon. Assistant special teams Darius Swifton. Swighton. I wrote it down wrong. I have scribble on it like I don't know what the hell it says now. Rob Ryan also defensive coach. I think he's a defensive. What the heck is? I can't remember what the exact title was, but he works with the defense as well. Rob Ryan. So that's our coaching staff starting to take a little bit of shape there. There's rumors that they might sign Hugh Jackson. If you remember from years ago, Hugh Jackson was a Raider coach for like a year and a half, 2 years, 2 seasons, whatever. He was the coach when the season Al Davis passed away. I thought he would have been our coach for a few years, to be honest with you, because I thought the offense looked really good under him. The team was starting to come together, but they kind of hit a wall, some injuries. If I remember, I could be mixing this all up. I think that's the year Jason Campbell got hurt halfway through the season, and they brought in Carson Palmer, and it just went downhill from there. I think Darren McFadden might have gotten hurt as well. Later in the season, he was having a terrific season that year. His Raiders were having a decent season under Jason Campbell, but it went downhill after that. If I remember correctly, again, I could be jumbling this all up because that's what I do. So that's the Raiders coaching staff so far. Like I said, mostly it looks like it's pretty much all there. Rob says, do you see the Raiders drafting a quarterback or signing a free agent? I believe O'Connell is a backup. I believe O'Connell's a backup as well. I'd like to see O'Connell at least get an opportunity to go into the offseason as in a quarterback competition. I think if they bring in a veteran, I think he'll be the automatic backup. Obviously, if you're bringing in a veteran, he would move to automatic backup. If they draft, I could see them saying they're going into an offseason in a quarterback competition. And it depends on where they get this quarterback. If they get this quarterback, if they have to move up top 3 to get a quarterback, well, then obviously that's going to be your starting quarterback, I believe. If they sit at 13, stay at 13 and get a quarterback, they could say quarterback competition. But again, it depends on who it is. Bo Nix, I could see them starting him. If it's if they reach and they pick up the kid JJ McCarthy from Michigan, I know I've been hearing that name a little bit. If they get him at 13 for some reason, I could see the quarterback competition because I don't think he's quite as refined as what Bo Nix is. Then you have Michael Penix. I don't know. I don't know about that. But if they get a quarterback later rounds, if they wait, like a Spencer Rattler or somebody like that, then I could also see them going into the offseason saying, it's a quarterback competition. Now with the bringing in a veteran, I don't know who they could bring in. Could they trade for Justin Fields? I hope not, but that's a possibility still. I was hoping, maybe Kirk Cousins' name would have been floated around, but I haven't heard it too much besides, just fans kind of wishing and wondering. I even, for a thought, like, maybe Jimmy G sticks around. Maybe Jimmy G sticks around and see what he has in a second season before we just go ahead and, throw it all away. But, after the whole Jimmy G debacle, which I'll get to in 2 seconds here, I don't think that's an option anymore. So I think, me personally, I think they should draft a quarterback, but I wouldn't be opposed if they also brought in a veteran. Like I said, I kind of want to see Aiden O'Connell get an offseason, a shot at it. But, Antonio Pierce, you want to start your coaching career off right. You want to start it off with a bang. And I'm not sure Aiden O'Connell is going to be that guy for it. I want him to be because I think he has a terrific arm. I think he can be accurate, does make some mistakes. Just move around a little bit, dude. Just move around, and that's it, Ben. People will be happy. Those spindly legs, get them moving. Adam Glenn, what's up, buddy? Thank you for checking the show out. Thank you for commenting. Rob leads us into my next topic here. Bye-bye, Jimmy G. I can picture Adam Glenn crying in his Yingling right now. Speaking of Adam Glenn, right there you go. There. How about that, Adam Glenn? I hope you're not crying in your Yingling. I mean, Adam never said that Jimmy G was going to be taking the Raiders to the promised land either. So he just said that Jimmy G was going to end up in the silver and black, and he was right. But yeah, that leads us to the next topic, Jimmy G and the whole Jimmy G debacle. Oh, boy. Speaking of JJ McCarthy, there we go. Foster covers. What's up, Foster? I haven't heard from you in a while. What are your Bears going to do, Foster? Are they going to trade out at number 1? Are they going to take a quarterback? Do they take Caleb Williams? Do they trade Justin Fields? I'm curious. Also, Foster, I think I heard. I didn't know this. I thought I heard that you have a Bears podcast that you do. I didn't realize that. I'm gonna have to find it and follow it. If you don't mind, throwing a link up here for everybody to check out, or your YouTube page or whatever, so they can check that out as a. I'm sure there's some closet Bear fans out there somewhere. My dad's a Bears fan from years ago, anyway. But yeah, everything's going good, man. Everything's going good. I hope you're doing well. And the JJ McCarthy thing, I'm really curious about JJ. Looking at his numbers, like he did what was asked of him. He ran a pro style offense under Harbaugh, and he did what was asked from him. He didn't turn the ball over. He threw the ball really well when he had to. He ran a little bit as well. So, I wouldn't be opposed to JJ McCarthy. I feel like that's somebody. If the Raiders can't move up in the draft to get one of these, high big name guys, which, doesn't mean anything, if they don't pan out, I wouldn't be opposed to them moving back later in the draft Because I think J.J. McCarthy could be there late first round or even early second round. So I wouldn't be opposed if they drop back a little bit, depending on how the draft is going. If they move back to like into the 20s to pick up more picks and maybe look at a JJ McCarthy there. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. So I'm not totally against JJ McCarthy, but Foster says I'd keep Justin Fields and build a team. So with that first pick, what would you trade that pick away to try to build a draft capital, or would you is there somebody else in mind that you would pick? If you're going to keep Justin Fields with his age so young, you kind of want to probably build around him and trade away that pick and pick up a bunch of capital for it. Foster's is Bears Country Productions or Bears Country Podcast on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. So there we go. There we have it. That's sweet. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to check out some past episodes. So 8 p.m. Central on Thursdays. That would be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if my math is correct. So yeah, everybody check that out. Foster covers some Chicago Bears talk. Pretty cool. Good stuff. So Jimmy G was busted. Suspended 2 games next season for, I guess, a violation in the league's performance enhancing drugs policy. I haven't seen anything where it said what the drug was, but they did say it was a drug that was on the list of prohibited medications or whatever, and he did not have a note or anything like that pushed through the office to be allowed to take that. So I guess you can get authorization if it's something medical and you need it. You can get authorization where it's okay for you to take this stuff. But whatever Jimmy G was taking was illegal. I know I said jokingly, I think on the Twitter, or maybe it was even Facebook. I don't remember that it certainly wasn't something for on the field because the performance was not enhanced at all. It declined, if anything. So it's something off the field. So maybe like a Viagra or Cialis or something. Maybe he was having issues performance-wise outside, off the field. That'd be terrible. The poor guy can't perform on the field, can't perform off the field. What a disappointment for him. So I don't know what the issue was, but the big thing for the Raiders is now this voids his contract if they won. If they, this voids his contract, it'll save them $11.25 million, I believe it was, over $11 million, which they probably would have saved anyway if they cut him before June 1st. But now definitely this puts them in the free and clear if they take advantage of it. And I think they will. I think they'll take full advantage of it. I'm surprised they haven't already. I guess they don't want to be too reactionary with it. And I expect the Raiders to release Jimmy and don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, sir. Thank you for your service. Foster said he'd trade back if 3 or 2 would take MHJ. I'm not sure who MHJ is. Who's MHJ? I'm not good with the. I don't watch a whole lot of college football. I watch a little bit. Whenever I see initials that start with M, I think of Maurice Jones-Drew, former Raider there. Rob says, could you see the Raiders trading for Justin Fields if the Bears entertain trade offers? I don't. From everything I heard, he didn't fit Getsy's system well. That's what I read. I don't know. If you look at Getsy's system, I broke this down when they hired Luke Getsy from the Bears. They first in rushing, I think it was this year, second rushing the year before. And, that's great. That's all great. But if you take Justin Fields out of that, where are they? And they're near the middle or the end of the league. Now, it's like, he's a part of it. He's part of the offense. He's part of the rushing offense. That's why they have him. So you could say that and whatever. But realistically, not all the quarterbacks are going to be rushing for 1,000 yards or 600 yards. I think he did this past season. So realistically, you're not going to get that every year. So you take him out of the equation. What do you have as a rushing attack? Nothing very good. But also, they didn't have any like big game breaker type running backs. Even though those running backs did kind of chew us up and spit us out when the Raiders did play the Bears in Chicago. But from what I understand, Luke Getsy wasn't high, very high on Justin Fields, and that could be just, again, the media can twist whatever they want. So that could be just a media, wanting you to believe that. I don't know. I think Davante Adams getting traded. No, I don't think so. Not this season. If this season is a bust, I could see the Raiders starting to entertain offers for Davante Adams. Maybe even at the trade deadline if it starts off really bad. But before the season starts, no, I don't think so. He wants to be here. The Raiders want him here. From everything you hear, Mark Davis respects Davante Adams a ton, just like Davante respects Mark Davis. And if Davante Adams wanted to be gone, he would be gone. If he would go to Mark and say, Mark, I don't want to be here anymore. I need to go somewhere else where I have a chance to win. My career is on the back nine here. Mark would have got rid of him. Mark would have found a trade partner and got rid of him, but I don't think I think he wants to stay. So MHJ's Marvin Harrison Jr. That makes sense. Sorry about that, Foster. He also says Getsy kind of got screwed because we only have Moore and Komet who can consistently catch the ball. Yeah, and I went through the Bears' stats. I think it was, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago when Getsy got hired. But yeah, Komet had a terrific season, and so did Moore. They both had career years in Getsy's offense. And the big thing on Getsy was his rushing attack. But your big receiver, your number one receiver, had a great year, and your tight end had a great year. So that bodes well for somebody like Davante Adams and Michael Mayer. Going in his sophomore season here. So we'll see what happens. Adams to the Jets. No, Adam Glenn. You got the Jimmy G thing correct. Nothing else. Not going to the Jets. Not. You would have loved Jacoby and Moore on the outside. For some reason, I do feel like Jacoby Myers was rumored to go to the Bears last year before he went to the Raiders, and I think the Raiders have him for at least another season yet. So Jacoby Myers had a terrific season with the Raiders. So much better than I thought. When the Raiders got Jacoby Myers, he was the big wide receiver free agent last season. And when the Raiders got him, I wasn't really thrilled. I'm just another Patriot guy, but he had a really good season. I was really impressed with him. He's not. Stop saying that. All right. So I'm going to move on from Jimmy G and Raiders talk to some LA Kings talk here. But if you have any more Raiders related questions, football or anything like that, continue putting them up there. I'll continue reading them, continue talking about them. Just because I changed the old backdrop and stuff like that doesn't mean that we stop talking about the topic. Let me change the wheel, black or white. Let's go white. I like the white. The white's kind of sharp. All right. So Kings, the Jim Hiller era begins here. The Kings, interim head coach after the Kings. I said Raiders. The Kings fired Tom McClellan. Bummer. It started off great, 16-4-4. It's been a struggle since. It's been a big struggle, and so we start off after the All-Star break. We start off under Jim Hiller against the Oilers, our arch nemesis. They ousted us from the playoffs the last 2 seasons in the first round. Terrific team. The Oilers are super talented. With Connor McDavid and that douchebag Draisaitl. I hate Leon Draisaitl. He's my Travis Kelce in the hockey world. I can't stand Leon Draisaitl. But yeah, so the Kings against the Oilers. Now the Oilers are coming off a back-to-back. Some Oilers fans kind of pointed that out. But the Kings beat the Oilers 4-0. Great start to the Jim Hiller era. We get the shutout. against a really good offensive team. We were physical. The Kings were fast. And again, some more of their fans are pointing out that's the back-to-back for the Oilers. But the night before they played against the Ducks, and the Ducks suck ass. So was it really a back-to-back? I don't know. But they look re-energized. They look fast. Again, physical. The hitting was terrific. Pierre-Luc Dubois probably had his best game of the season. It was a really good early. It looked like the early season Kings. A really good game. It was great to see. It gave you a lot of hope. So looking at the scoring, there's no scoring in the first period. We go to the second period. Pierre-Luc Dubois got his 11th goal of the season, power play goal, assisted by Spence and Trevor Moore. Second period, cats are going nuts. Trevor Lewis got his 7th goal, assisted by Quinton Byfield. Third period, speaking of QB, Quinton Byfield got his 15th goal, assisted by Vladislav Gavrikov, my favorite name to say, and Matt Roy. And then Quinton Byfield ices the game with an empty netter, 16th of the season, assisted by Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe. David Rittich was between the pipes, got saved 26 out of 26. Looking at some team stats, shots. Kings had 26 shots. So did the Oilers. Hits, LA, again, this never happens. The hits, LA won that battle as well. 32 hits to 23. Usually the Kings are out hit, 2-1, easy. But this time the Kings out hit the Oilers. They have a lot of hits. Penalty kill, 0 for 4. So the Kings did great there. Power play, 1 for 2. Block shots. This is a huge stat in my mind here, especially in this game. The Kings had 25 block shots to the Oilers 5. Oh God. So this is what happens. I take notes because I forget a lot of stuff, and it's just good that it keeps everything flowing. If I'm sitting here trying to remember stuff, I'm going to forget it. So when I'm taking notes, something comes in my head at work, I jot it down. Well, then I leave my book open, and we have idiots running around at work, and the idiot wrote Mike Hunt got hurt. So you put Mike Hunt, you say it fast, but Mike Hunt got hurt. I ain't saying it fast. These guys. So it's a great win for the Kings. They go on the road for a road trip here, East Coast swing, and they're going to Buffalo. Buffalo, not a great record, not a great team, and the Kings got destroyed. And destroyed's like being light about it. 7-0. 7-0. They look uninspired, slow, lackadaisical. It's just like everything that they did in the first game was erased in the second game. The Jim Hiller era. It was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was unbelievable. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, how is that team that's playing in Buffalo do what it did against the Edmonton Oilers, one of the most talented teams in the league? It didn't make sense at all. Anze Kopitar, our captain, was a -6 in that game. -6. Kempe was a -4. It was just, David Rittich started, saved 12 out of 17 shots before he got his ass yanked. Cam Talbot came in, didn't fare much better. First shot he faced, he let in. He had 5 saves out of 7 shots. And you look at the stat sheet, the Kings won, all the stats in the stat sheet, but in the scoreboard where it counts, didn't happen. Shots, LA 33-24. Hits, LA 24-14. So that's back-to-back games where they won the hits battle, which I always want to see the Kings physical. I feel like they're not physical enough. Face-offs, again, huge advantage, 30-19. 0 for 3 on the power play. The penalty kill, we did give up a power play. Power play goal, so 1 for 2 in the penalty kill. Block shots, a huge stat here. Kings only had 10 block shots, whereas the Sabres had 25. So overall, the Kings won the stat sheet, but that doesn't mean anything. You could crumble the stat sheet up and wipe your ass with it if you want. But it's on the scoreboards where it matters, and they got throttled. I mean, I was watching a little bit of that game. It's just like, this is ridiculous. The way the Buffalo was able to go up and down the ice, the Kings couldn't sustain any sort of offense. It felt like we outshot them 33-24, and I don't know how. I have no idea how it even happened. Like, it didn't feel like it. I got a comment here. yeah, it's an old bunch of immature dickheads. I'm not even going to tell you who it was. Last time he wrote something in my notebook, I gave him a shout out and everything. I'm not going to do it this time. He's not getting famous on my back. Philyac. So that was the Kings and Sabres. I didn't even write down the Buffalo's goals. I'm like, I don't have enough paper for this. So move on from that. The return of Victor Arvidsson for the game in New Jersey. That's a huge thing. I've been waiting for this all season. He's been out. He had back surgery. I think it was before the season started. Started the season on a injured reserve. And, just waiting for him to come back. You've been hearing as soon as he comes back, it's going to pick our power play up. So our power play is middle of the pack. When you look at the stats like that, penalty kill's been fantastic for power play, which was really good for us last season. We're looking for that left-handed shot. I think everybody on our number one power play line is a righty. So just looking for that opposite-handed shot. And so now Victor Arvidsson comes back. We'll see what kind of team the Kings will have with him roaming the power play, the special teams. So he came back for the New Jersey game, and he was fantastic. He really was. I don't know how many shots he had. I think he had 8 shots, I heard. I could be wrong about that, but he had a lot of shots. He looked fast. He looked like this was his first game of the season. So the Kings at Devils. So after the Kings get throttled by Buffalo, they go against the Devils, who are fighting for their own playoff spot. I think they're sitting on the outside of a wild card. But the Kings come out and they get a terrific win, 2-1. A very hard-fought win against Jersey. A fairly decent, talented team. Was in the playoffs last year. I don't know if they made it. I can't remember if they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals or the semifinals. First period, no scoring. Second period, our captain gets on the board. Anze Kopitar, shorthanded goal, assisted from Adrian Kempe. That made it 1-1. Toffoli, who used to be a King, he scored for New Jersey. Third period, Quentin Byfield scored his 17th goal of the season, a power play goal, assisted by Brant Clark and Pierre-Luc Dubois. And that was it. That was the game winner right there. David Rittich stopped 26 of 27 shots. Fantastic game by Rittich. A lot of big saves, especially in the third. A 963 save percentage. You look at the stats, team stats. LA 29 shots to 27 for New Jersey. Hits were 20-20. So again, I take that as another win for LA in the hit column. Face-offs won by the Kings 25-19. Penalty kill 1 for 5, so not a bad day on the penalty kill. Power play 1 for 4. And block shots, we lose that battle again. 13 for LA, 21 block shots for the Devils. So it was a good game. I was able to watch some of the second period and all the third period. It was a good game, hard-fought game. Physical. The Hughes brothers are always good, very good. I know Jack Hughes had some choice words for who was it? I think it was for Arvidsson. I think it was for Victor Arvidsson. He's like, people pay to see me. Jack Hughes said to Arvidsson, which he's not wrong. He's a great player, but they lost. So take that to the bank. There, Jack Hughes. So the Kings are back in their winning ways. So we move ahead to today's game, Kings versus Bruins. Great back and forth contest. The Bruins definitely felt like the better team on the ice. But, the Kings were scrappy. The first period, the Kings owned the first period. Like, if you were scoring this as a boxing match, and I will take the scores out of it. If you're just watching the product on the ice with no goals, the Kings absolutely won the first period. The Bruins won the second period. You probably go with a draw in the third period because I felt like the Bruins had so many different opportunities in the third period that the Kings were able to get out of, either with some decent saves by David Rittich, or just a couple decent block shots and some good clears, some good back checking. The first period, a lot of great forechecking, able to keep the puck in the offensive zone for extended periods of time. Outshot them a good bit there in the first, and unfortunately they'll lead to more goals in the first period, but it really gave the Kings a lot to go into the locker room with. They came out in the second period and it seemed like it was just gone. They came out kind of flat. Boston was on the attack more in the second period, and it led to a little bit more, a couple more goals for them. So reading this off, Kings win 5-4 in overtime, which was I'll get to that in a second. Period one, Van Riemsdyk, that's hard to say. He scored, made it 1-0. Matt Roy for the Kings scored his third goal of the season, assisted by Trevor Lewis and Andreas Englund. They made it 1-1. Englund got to drop the gloves and throw a little bit of fisticuffs today. Wasn't a great fight, but he got a couple decent shots in there. And I guess, because he threw the guy down, he gets the win. I don't know how that works. Van Riemsdyk got his second goal in the period, made it 2-1 as a power play goal. So the Kings go out, even though the Kings absolutely won the first period, they go into the first intermission down 2-1, but they have to feel good with themselves. They really do. They own the first period. So they come out in period two. Richard scored for the Devils, made it 3-1. Right away it's the second period was just sluggish. The Kings could not get anything going. Gavrikov, he does get a goal in the second period, his fourth of the season, assisted by Brandt Clark and Pierre-Luc Dubois. That made it 3-2. I think that was a shot where Quentin Byfield was going across the goalie's face and kind of stuck his stick out there. It almost looked like Byfield deflected it in, but he didn't touch it. I think it hit off the back of the Bruins player, maybe, because it did change direction. The shot was coming in high, and all of a sudden it takes a sharp angle down. So it did hit something, but it definitely wasn't Byfield's stick. So I think it hit the ass of the Bruins player. So you go into the third period, Bruins are up 3-2. Laferriere comes out, he gets a goal, his seventh of the season, assisted by Pierre-Luc Dubois and Quentin Byfield. Made it 3-3. Let's go Kings. Unfortunately, though, Frederick, he scores. He made it 4-3. I think that's his first goal. First point of the season. If I remember, I think that was him. Was that him or Richard? I don't remember now. That made it 4-3. So we're getting late in the game. Kings have the goalie pulled on a power play. I think, it was 6-on-4. Kopitar scores a nice deflection between Olmark's legs. 17th goal is a power play goal, assisted by Drew Doughty and Victor Arvidsson. Made it 4-4. Yes. Hang on, I'm almost done, buddy. You gotta give me 5 more minutes. I'm almost done. Go ahead. I'll be out in a minute. A little ham and egger. So that was assisted by Drew Doughty and Victor Arvidsson. Made a 4-4 with like a minute and a half to go in the third period. We go into overtime. The Kings in overtime is just awful. I think 1-5-1 or something like that. Or 1-5 or 1-6 in overtime. Just really struggling. In overtime, Brandt Clark gets a penalty. I don't remember. I think it was hooking or slashing. I don't remember exactly what it was. So he goes into the penalty box. And I'll tell you what, Brandt Clark looks like he's about 12 years old. It's unbelievable. I was watching him in the penalty box as he's all bummed out that he's in there. That gave the Oilers a fourth, or the Bruins a 4-on-3. But he looks like he's 12 years old, like his mom just grounded him. It was kind of funny. So the Kings are able to kill that power play, and as soon as it's killed, Kings were able to get possession as Brandt Clark's coming out of the box. It's passed up to to Brand Clark from Philippe Denault. And Clark comes in and makes a beautiful move going from his backhand to his forehand, able to get it around the goal mark. Terrific shot. He gets his first NHL goal, and it's the winner for the LA Kings. Awesome way to finish that game. Like I said, it felt like the Bruins really had all the momentum, even going into overtime. Before that goal, overtime, I would say Bruins were probably winning the overtime. It felt like they had, more chances offensively, but the Kings did have a couple opportunities as well. So it didn't look as bad as it has been looking on the overtime special teams on a 3v3. So overall, the overtime went well, and then you get that lucky, that Brand Clark's coming out of the box as soon as Philippe Denault gets the puck and is able to send it up there and get that breakaway. A little bit of luck, comes in the hand there, but you take it. You take it all days of the week. The Bruins are one of the best teams, the best team in the league. If you're looking at points, I believe. So you take those wins. Absolutely take those wins. Shots, LA, they won that 35-32. Hits, Boston out hit the Kings 39-37. But again, Kings very physical. Both teams very physical this game. I loved it. I love seeing the Kings physical. Quentin Byfield's presence in front of the net is just is awesome. It's just such a terrific forechecker as well. Quentin Byfield's having him a season. Face-offs, this is a huge stat here. Boston had 45 wins. The Kings 25 in the face-offs. Penalty kill, Kings 1 for 4. In the power play, the Kings were 1 for 2. Block shots, 19 apiece. So that's pretty good there. So great win for the Kings there. To be honest with you, I didn't have much faith. I thought, against the Bruins in Boston, if the Kings are able to hang around, maybe they have a chance. But, they played good. They played well enough. They played good enough to win. They earned that win. It wasn't handed to them by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll take that. Move on to the 3 stars of the week. So I do this every Silver Black Lair. I take the past week's shows and I come up with the 3. If you watch hockey, if you're a hockey fan or not, you watch hockey. Every game they do the 3 stars of the game. So I do it for the week. Before I get into that, I got a comment here. Eileen says the Bruins are mad. In our group chat, I said, "Is that Bruins or Boo Earns?" And so if you're a Simpsons fan, you'll understand the reference. If not, then I can't explain it. Then everybody's a Simpsons fan. The 3 stars of the week. The 3rd star, I'm going to give it to Anze Kopitar, the captain. He had that awful game in Buffalo where he has his -6, but I'll tell you, the rest of the other 3 games, he was fantastic. He was outstanding. Starting to score a little bit more, getting the puck into the net. So that's good. Back-to-back games now. So I gave him the 3rd star of the week. 2 goals, 1 assist. So he had 3 points. The 2nd star, Pierre-Luc Dubois. This against the Bruins, they're all over Pierre-Luc Dubois for the goal that was given up. I don't know if it's the 2nd or 3rd. I wish I remember now. I should have wrote it down. I don't know if it's the 2nd or 3rd period where there was a battle behind the net, off to the side of the net. He stayed on the opposite side. There was an open area. The Bruins player, I don't know if it was Frederick or Richard, was able to kind of float. I had to kind of coast his way in front of the net, in front of Riddick, and it is a tough shot because he was still pretty close to Riddick, but he got up over him and top shelved it on the Kings. But the announcers, the experts there were really giving Pierre-Luc Dubois a hard time about it. Me personally, I had Laferriere there as well. So I mean, is Laferriere supposed to get that guy? Laferriere kind of drifted back and covered the guy that was in the out by the blue line. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of iffy. But Pierre-Luc Dubois was kind of in an area where there was nobody, the opposite side of the net, why are you hanging out over there? Come on over and join the party there, Pierre. But he's been playing much better, especially since Hiller took over. So I gave him the 2nd star of the week. 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. He's been playing much faster and more physical, so we'll take that. ups and downs, especially in this past game against the Bruins. A little bit some ups and downs. The game against the Oilers, he was fantastic. Easily the best player on the ice that night. So it's coming along. It's coming along slowly. And the number one star of the week is Quentin Byfield. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Again, I just can't say enough about him. Terrific presence in front of the net. Plays tough, plays physical. Great forechecking, and outstanding stuff by Quentin Byfield. So that's my 3 stars of the week. So our standings as they sit right now. Oh, a page ahead here. In the Pacific Division, Vancouver's leading the Pacific Division. What, buddy? All right, I love you too. I'm almost done. I swear to God, I'm almost done. I swear. Let me get through the standings here. I'll make you your corn dog. The Pacific Division, Vancouver's leading the Pacific Division right now, 32-12-6 with 80 points. Nobody's catching them. The Vegas Golden Knights are sitting in second in that guaranteed playoff spot, 31-16-6 with 68 points. Edmonton, 31-18-1 right as of right now, 63 points. The Kings are right, and that's the top 3 guaranteed spots. The Kings are sitting in number 1 wild card right now, 26-16-10 with 62 points. Looking at the overall standings in the West, Vancouver's leading the West with 80 points. Dallas is sitting right behind them, 34-14-6, 74 points. So they got a little bit of ground to make up to catch the Canucks for that number 1 overall seed. Colorado, 33-18-4 in the Central Division, 70 points. Winnipeg, 32-14-5, 69 points. Vegas Golden Knights sitting 5th at 68 points. Edmonton, 63 points, sitting 6th. LA, 62 points, sitting 7th. And the final spot right now, final wild card spot, is the St. Louis Blues, 29-22-2 with 60 points. So if playoffs were to start today, you'd have Vancouver versus St. Louis, Dallas versus LA, Colorado, Edmonton, and Winnipeg, Vegas Golden Knights. All those matchups would be awesome. Absolutely, they would be awesome. So I'll look ahead here to what we got going on starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Kings are in Pittsburgh to face the Penguins, who are trying to fight back into the playoffs. The Penguins are 24-20-7 with 55 points. Then back home against Colorado. Columbus. Back home against Columbus. They're 16-26-10, 42 points. And then home against Nashville is 27-25-2. So these next 3 games, huge games, all very winnable games. We need these 2 points to get back in the top 3 and to build confidence. We got Arvidsson back. Pierre-Luc Dubois is playing better. Quinn Byfield's playing out of his mind. I love what Jim Hiller's been doing with the lines. He's been changing the lines up a lot, putting guys in different spots. Like today, we had Byfield in the third line with Laferriere and Pierre-Luc Dubois. So you had Fiala up on the first line with Kempe and Kopitar. I like it. I really do like it. The way Hiller's trying different combinations and getting crazy with it. So all 3 of those games very winnable. And I'll talk about hopefully 3 Kings wins next Friday. So finally, last but not least, we got stats. So looking at our stats, team stats here, Adrian Kempe is leading the way in points. 17 goals, 28 assists, 45 points. Like I said, he leads the team in points. Anze Kopitar, 17 goals, 27 assists, 44 points. Kevin Fiala, 13 goals, 30 assists, 43 points. He leads the team in assists. Before I forget, Kempe's at a +10, Kopitar's a +10, Fiala -7. Quentin Byfield, 17 goals, 23 assists, 40 points. He's at a +16, leads the team in plus-minus. Trevor Moore, 21 goals, 15 points, 15 assists, 36 points. He's at a +2. Trevor Moore leads that team in goals. He's been kind of quiet in the goal side of things, so I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks out a little bit and starts lighting the lamp a little bit. Philippe Denault, 10 goals, 21 assists, 31 points. He's at a +4. Drew Doughty, 11 goals, 17 assists, 28 points. He's a +10. And Pierre-Luc Dubois, 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points. Still a -16, which is awful, but he's getting better. Goaltending-wise, Cam Talbot's in at 14, 13, and 5. I expect him to start tomorrow on a back-and-back, the second part of a back-to-back. He's sitting at 14, 13, and 5, 2.63 goals against, a .909 save percentage. He's definitely been struggling, so hopefully he brings his A game. David Rittich, 8, 2, and 3, 2.12 goals against, and a .923 save percentage. The goals against and the save percentage isn't updated, but his win-loss record is after today's game. And so that's all I have for today. Let me do my sponsor reads here. Monkey Cold Coffee. Let me get all this stuff off of here. That. There we go. Go to Monkey Cold Coffee, get all your coffee needs. You got bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, toasted coconut rum. You got the Sumatra medium roast blend, the Peru of Florida, one of their newest blends is organic. And also the newest flavor, the golden honey agave. It's very good coffee. They're also selling barrel aged honey. Head on over to the swag shop, get your t-shirts, coffee mugs, tumbler cups, K-cup adapter, cold brew pitcher gimmick. That thing's really sweet. And also the Paradise Rum Cake, amongst many other things at monkeycoldcoffee.com. So fill your virtual shopping cart up. Head on over to the register and at checkout, use that promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off your order. That promo code, once again, is OOTB Sports for 10% off your order at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Another sponsor here, we got Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In Cherry Hill, New Jersey, the Garden State of New Jersey, the office is located at 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. And then in the city of Brotherly Love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. Jason Fine, reach him at 1-800-HURT-123, 1-800-HURT-123. Like the Count from Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3. 3 goals scored by the Kings. I don't know. All right. Foster says, have a good night and a great Sunday. You too, brother. Thank you for checking the show out. Thank you for commenting. I'm going to have to check your Bears show out. Bears Country over there on the YouTube, Bears Country Productions or Bears Country Podcast on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. That'd be 9 p.m. Eastern for all you slow people out there. So thank you for checking the show out there, Fosters. I'll be checking your show out as well. That's all I have for today. I will be on tonight, 10 p.m. Atomic Drop Podcast with special guest host Eddie Prather, talking WWE wrestling. So join me tonight. A little bit of fun, burning the midnight oil. Thank you, everybody, for checking the show out, and I'll see you guys tonight. Just win, baby, and go Kings, go!